What is up, everybody? My name's Ben Kepler.
I'm Ben Yukonis.
And this is the Wombo Combo Show. Dude, we're at episode 31.
No shit.
3-1. We've done that many episodes.
Really?
Yeah, plus, and that doesn't count our watch parties.
Yeah.
And
Well, we only have had, what, three
watch parties.
3 watch
now.
parties.
So I guess this would be like the 34th recording of us talking about football.
Yeah.
Did you think we'd make it this far?
No,
we're really
I didn't
doing
think we would be doing this for the entire year, to be honest with you. I thought this... I mean, I'm happy we are. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong about that at all. I'm not complaining. But I just didn't see it lasting this long,
but
to be honest with you.
I'm glad that everybody's here with us today. Rach, what's up, girl? I see you in chat. How you doing? First thing, guys, we're going to kind of just cover week 18 in short. There's a lot of doesn't matter involved in week 18.
I really only care about the games who had some sort of meaning for seeding.
Right. Or if you,
or whatever,
seeding even in the sense of draft, because some teams decided to win a game and lose the first round pick. So we'll talk about that a little bit too. But let's step into this just a little bit here, guys. Producer Ball's telling me I need to move myself in. Okay.
Yeah. That way when we face each other, it's...
There we go. 31st episode, and we're still trying to figure it out, folks. All right. Anyways, we're going to get into some of the matchups for this week, and then we'll talk about, some of the big news that came out this week, because there's a lot of NFL
There's a lot of news.
Right
There's
now.
a lot of news happening from yesterday.
Absolutely. And then on top of that, we'll take a look at the playoffs here. We do want to make sure everybody's aware we are going to host another one of our awesome watch parties. Everyone seems to love those. Those are great. So, Saturday.
Yeah, what time are we going to start that again?
We'll do that 4:30 Eastern.
We'll start that at 4:30 for you guys.
Very first game we'll be on. Maybe we'll start 10 minutes early, get some predictions, maybe shoot out some bets with you, stuff like that.
Yeah, we can definitely do that.
We'll be live for Saturday, so I hope you guys are tuned in for that. Ben, let's hop into these games, take a couple looks at some stuff that happened. There, like we said, a lot of stuff doesn't matter. I'll run through the ones that don't, and then let's kind of dive into the ones that do a little bit.
Yeah.
First one I'll talk about was the Panthers game, the Panthers and Falcons, which ended up going to overtime. The reason why I wanted to snag this game out of the air and make sure I talked about it is because I'm officially now a Panthers fan starting at the draft. I will be a Panthers fan from here on out. Steelers and Panthers are going to be my teams.
Bryce Young accounted for 5 touchdowns in this game, right?
5 tutties, my dude.
Yeah. So, I mean...
He's killing it.
He's having a better second year than CJ Stroud is.
Yeah, it's literally like he took all the skills that CJ had and sucked, he stole his soul or something. Because even the head coach,
Space Jams.
Yeah, it's like exactly. Canales said they've got their guy moving forward, and they love to be able to look through a clear lens at the draft, knowing that they already have their guy.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's the best. That's the best sentence that you could hear out of your head coach if you're Bryce Young. In comparison to when you got benched for Andy Dalton and then he got in a car accident and you were forced to play again. So
I mean, looking back, that benching was the best thing for Bryce Young.
Really, it gave him a clean slate to start back over. Kind of took a little bit of the weight off his chest too, because you've been benched now.
Man. I think
it
was well needed because it's like, dude, you need to sit down, relax. You got this.
See Andy do the same plays.
You're a very skillful player. You just got to focus on what you need to be doing. And he's done. He's been playing better ball, way more touchdowns than interceptions. I forget the actual numbers off the top of my head. But
I know that he has over 2,000 yards, and I believe it's 22 touchdowns on the year. But if you were to look at it at the start,
6 picks too.
Huh?
Only 6 picks.
Oh, really? I didn't know that part. So Bryce Young, better. He has better awareness. If we were talking in Madden terms, his awareness and play recognition,
awful.
Yeah, they were, and now they've increased dramatically. Next game we're going to talk about. This game, real quickly, was the AFC non-needed South game. This was basically to see if the Titans would lose the first round pick or keep it, and they of course did.
They kept it.
Yeah, and they had it with some help from another team that we'll talk about here in a little bit. Next game, I know that we seen Rach in chat here a minute ago. I wanted to talk about this. This was the Eagles and the Giants. Eagles, we kind of thought maybe they would purposely lose to screw the Giants over. They definitely played all their backups, so you didn't see Saquon hit that record of Eric Dickerson's. I mean, we kind of talked about that on Saturday during the live show. We kind of think it was a smart decision.
Yeah.
Saquon, injury prone. Let's keep him as healthy as possible and also give him a little bit of rest too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So, and at the end of the day, most players tell you that it's all about Super Bowls.
It's about the Super Bowl,
I mean,
not the record.
All the personal records and accolades come second. If you didn't win a Super Bowl, you would all these guys would trade in their accolades to win a Super Bowl for those who haven't. So, I mean,
hey, football is a team sport.
Yeah.
So team rewards are better than individual ones.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
You know what I mean?
100%.
That's just the vibe, and I like players who live under that vibe too.
Yeah.
You know who I don't think lives under that kind of vibe? Our guy George Pickens. We'll talk about him here in a little bit, but I'm ready to go ahead and ship him off to a new team.
We'll talk about when we look into the playoffs coming up this weekend.
Yeah, we'll look at those in a minute here. Next game was Jags and Colts. This game, at one point in time in Sunday, it mattered. And then all of a sudden, it did not. Because the Broncos absolutely mopped up on the Chiefs.
It didn't matter for the Colts regardless.
Oh, that's right. That's right, because they lost last week. That is right.
They lost the Giants. Yeah. It killed Bengals' hopes.
It did kill Bengals' hopes. One thing I wanted to mention in this one is the Jags have moved on from Pedersen. He did say that there will be some allowance of people to so people in the building will be able to influence him on the next pick because Pedersen was a Shakar or whatever Khan, the owner of the Jaguars. I don't want to butcher his first name. I know his last name's Khan, but he is not going to make the sole decision on that one. So we'll see how that moves forward. What'd you say there, producer Paul?
I believe it's just Shad Khan, like SHAD.
Yeah, I think it might be Shad. Yeah. I didn't know what it was off the top of my head, so I don't want to butcher it. You know. Next one we wanted to talk about was the Commanders game. This was a little bit more. It mattered a little bit more, I guess you would say.
Not really.
It mattered for seeding. For seeding
purposes, yeah.
Commanders end up taking the win. They did play their starters for most of the game. Mariota came in for the end.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that kind of told you that it was give up time. We knew that they were going to win that game. The only switch up that it really would have been, though, is the Green Bay Packers and the Commanders.
Yeah, if Packers would have won and Commanders would have lost, they would have been the 7th seed.
Yeah, it was 6 and 7.
Yeah, now they're 6. Packers are 7.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it was for 5 or 6 or 6 or 7, but that you got it, and so that makes sense.
5 is Minnesota.
Oh yeah, 5 is Minnesota, which is wild. What a wild thing.
14-3.
Yeah, and they're gonna have to travel the entire playoffs.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Nuts.
That's absolutely insane.
Yeah. The Bears ended up pulling out a win. This is their first win in 6-7 weeks. Okay. Nice Bears. Congratulations. They ended up winning at the very end of this football game. This game was a cold game up in Lambeau. The Packers, obviously, the biggest news out of this game, Ben, I don't know if you've seen this, but Jordan Love got injured. Malik Willis had to play the end of this football game.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So that was something that came out in this game that's a little bit wishy-washy for this week coming up. I think the Green Bay Packers take on the Eagles this weekend, do they not?
Yes, they have faced the Eagles again.
So Eagles, they were a little damaged with Jalen Hurts. I'm sure he's off a concussion protocol by now, but we'll see what the health of Love is moving forward. I think they've announced that he's likely to start. It's his playoff game.
I can imagine that he plays.
Yeah. But the percentage of health that he is at when he goes into this game will be something to take a look at going into the game.
Yeah.
Next one. This was the Saints and Bucks game. The coolest one.
Another winning in type scenario.
This was a winning in type scenario. They ended up getting the win before the Falcons could finish the game. So unfortunately for the Falcons, their overtime, they didn't care anymore. You know what I mean? When they got to overtime, they're like, we're not making the playoffs anyways. Why don't we just go ahead and lose this game and get a better draft pick? I wouldn't necessarily say they purposely did that, but,
I mean,
it would make sense to, right?
Wouldn't shock me.
Big thing out of this Bucks game, other than them clinching the NFC South, was Mike Evans has now tied Jerry Rice's record
he
for 1,000-yard seasons.
Like on one of the last couple plays of the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
On the last base. Well, I think there might have been a one knee after that, but it was definitely a knee situation.
Just to get him the catches and the yards. Yeah.
Todd Bowles said after the game, Mike Evans, you owe me $1 million for that. So, I mean, they were asking him, were you shaking in your boots? He goes, no, not really, but I think Mike owes me about $1 million now. So I thought that was pretty funny. Next game we're going to talk about, this was the game that I preluded to a little bit ago. This was the Bills taking on the Patriots. The Patriots benched Drake May before the start of this game. Mm-hmm. They played... It'll come to me.
Oh man, I have my
it's not. I don't know what I wanted to say. Jaden Milroe, and it's not. It's Joe Milton.
Joe Milton.
Yeah, I wanted to say Jalen Milroe for no reason. Anyways, they ended up playing him, and dude, he balled out.
I saw one highlight
that didn't count.
It was I think so. No, it might have counted.
Was it the touchdown in the corner of the
Douglas?
end zone? Yeah, it didn't count.
Oh, okay. Well, anyways, without the holding penalty, just the sheer athleticism of Milton was insane.
It was balling,
and then he threw a rocket to the end zone, like it. Zoom,
I wouldn't be surprised
on a line.
I wouldn't be surprised they trade him to a team who needs, like the Titans. They could go for him.
Or
start him.
Yeah,
trade Drake May.
Yeah, trade Drake May.
You could.
But here's the thing: we don't know how Milton is yet.
Yeah,
in the pros, we already have like a taste of Drake May, and Drake May looks pretty good.
Good. Yeah.
So I mean, I wouldn't say like good. He looks good.
Mm-hmm. Out of the rookies, I would say he's the third best.
He needs some pieces around him.
100% wide receivers.
Wide receiver.
A good running back.
I like Stevenson.
He just fumbles too much.
Yeah, true.
Mm-hmm. Now hear me out on this.
He didn't fumble a lot though his rookie year.
No, but he's fumbling a lot this year and last year.
Yeah, he did fumble a lot
put Ramondre Stevenson with Jalen Warren on the Steelers and Najee goes up to the Patriots. I think that would be a good pairing. I think all around both Ramondre is more explosive than Najee. Najee is more.
Ramondre Stevenson actually has breakaway speed.
Mm-hmm, he does. That's what I'm saying, and he's good out of the backfield too. He's basically just like Jalen Warren, but with Worth's ball
He's
carrying.
bulkier.
Mm-hmm, he's bulkier. I would like that. I don't know. I do think that Joe Milton is a moving piece, or Drake May is a moving piece, because both of them are pretty decent quarterbacks. Joe Milton obviously drafted at the end of the draft too. Steelers could have taken him 5th rounder.
Yeah, he was in the 5th round.
I would have loved to see him. They do say that he can, on a dot, throw a ball 75 yards without moving his legs.
He's got a cannon. He has a cannon.
Nuts.
If he can get some accuracy, because I think that was his biggest issue was accuracy. Mm-hmm. So if he can fix his accuracy issues, he could be one hell of a quarterback.
He's a Tennessee quarterback, and there was a Tennessee podcast I listened to a bit, and they were like, Joe Milton must be the best practice quarterback around, because as soon as he steps into the football game and you watch his tape, you're like, oh, yeah, this guy doesn't know how to play football.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that, too.
It's something with Barstool. Yeah. It's pretty funny. Next game we're going to talk about, this had some playoff implications, but not a ton. Raiders put up a good fight in the first half, kind of fell apart in the second half. This was a Chargers-Raiders game, and Chargers are going to be playing Texans this week, right? On Sunday.
Did you see the stat line for Quentin Johnston?
Yeah, he did. He did good, but
13 catches, 186 yards.
It's one of those things.
That's prime AB numbers, dude.
That is prime AB numbers. You are right. He didn't have any touchdowns, but it doesn't matter. They threw the ball a billion times.
Oh my goodness, man! I looked at that stat line. I was like, where the hell was this all year?
It's kind of a matchup. The Raiders obviously playing backup players and want to see what you can do, players.
Yeah, but I mean, just still though.
I know.
Where was it all year?
We'll see what QJ does in the playoffs. If he puts up 10 catches in a playoff game, I will not buy a QJ jersey, but I'll get a white T-shirt and write QJ on the middle of it and wear it for a day.
I mean, he's fooling everybody for next year in fantasy, if that's the case.
I'm not taking him in fantasy.
No.
Watch for our list to drop. We got our don't draft these players next year list coming out. It'll be coming out here probably Saturday after the show. We'll get it all wrapped up for you. Next game, Again, another game that didn't matter. We'll just flash through this one really quickly. Obviously, the Pastronaut played quarterback for the 49ers. This was the 49ers and the Arizona Cardinals game. Cardinals end up winning this game. They're saying that the Pittsburgh Steelers are the number one team to watch out for to trade for Kyler Murray. Ben, your thoughts?
Well, this is the first time I'm hearing this.
Yes.
So
that we'll get your true thoughts on it. Do you like it? If it was a second round pick or one pick, first or second? Or second and fourth? First or a second and fourth?
I would give up the second and the fourth.
Give up a second and a fourth and get him?
For Kyler Murray.
Would you have to? Do you think the Steelers would send a package of players along with that?
No, I think the picks alone would be enough.
I think so too. I wouldn't hate that. There's a lot of quarterbacks out there.
I wouldn't hate that either. It's just, it's just you look on the Steelers team and
there isn't much for Kyler to work with.
Yeah, there isn't much for him to work. We got a lot of holes.
He's right
on the Steeler team.
You're right. You're right. I agree with you completely.
I don't think Kyler. I mean, I would like Kyler Murray to end up in black and gold. That'd be dope. But I mean,
do you like Kyler Murray more than Justin Fields?
At this point, oh boy,
there's a hot question. I
would say more. Yes, because Kyler Murray has shown that he can do it.
Yeah, I guess so. When he had the players, him and
with D-Hop
and co in that company, yeah, they were pretty good. I don't know. We'll see. There's a lot of stuff that's going to happen this offseason. I'm excited for us to cover it because there's going to be a lot more than what people expect. Because, think about last offseason. How many different players are on different teams, from Saquon to Derrick Henry? I mean,
I don't think this year's going to be that crazy.
We'll see. We'll see. Look at the teams who have the first picks. They're pretty weird teams. It's the Titans. It's the the Browns. So we'll see. Next game, this was a blowout. Real quick, we're going to cover this one. This is what solidified the AFC playoff race. This was the Broncos taking on the Chiefs. The Chiefs didn't even barely try, it seemed. Carson Wentz started at quarterback. He wasn't even able to put up a single point in this football game. So if you were a Dolphins fan who ended up losing, or if you were a Bengals fan watching for hope, your hope got killed really fast.
It was mainly just Bengals fans.
Mm-hmm. Next football game. This one was a rivalry matchup, but for one team, it was all backups.
Yeah, man, it didn't matter.
Just didn't really matter. Seahawks,
Rams, and Seahawks. The Rams had already had the division locked up, so
they benched Stafford. They played Jimmy Garoppolo in this football game.
Yeah,
how about
they
that?
started Jimmy G. They started Blake Corum at running back.
He got hurt. He's out.
He got hurt.
Like significantly injured.
Oh wow,
Out for the season.
That sucks.
Yep. So it is just Williams, and I don't know who their other running back is. It's somebody not very good. I'll tell you that one. It's a rookie. It's a third-year rookie. Yeah, because it was last year in fantasy. It was between him and Williams. Which guy did you pick up in free agency? I want to say his last name's Brown, but I can't remember. Seahawks end up winning this game, guys. Again, in the opposite effect of the Falcons, who lost their game to get the better draft pick, the Seahawks won, so they just moved themselves up in the draft. Watch them trade down, though. How funny would that be? Like, I always find those kind of things funny. They win their Week 18 game, then have to trade down to get the pick they originally would have been.
You mean trade up?
Well, I guess trade up, trade down, whichever way you're
Well, if
thinking
you're moving up.
Up in numbers. I'm saying down in numbers. You know what I mean?
Oh, so like trade out of the first round.
Trade down lower into the first round, like trade into the 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s instead of being like a 12. Like you know what I mean?
Trading up in the draft.
It depends on how you look at it.
No, that's what it's called. It's trading up in the draft.
Yeah, well, that's how you say it.
No, it's not how. It's how. Anyways, go ahead. The Jets, the Jets and Dolphins played on Sunday in what could have been a meaningful game for the Dolphins.
Could have been.
They blew this one.
They blew it big. It could have been Aaron Rodgers' last game as an NFL player.
It might be. I mean, they say. I hear he's gonna go somewhere else.
The Raiders.
But where's he gonna go?
The Raiders.
The Raiders.
He's the number one op right now. Everyone's saying that the Aaron Rodgers, if he stays and it's not with the Jets and he doesn't retire, he'll be a Raider. And how funny is that? Because Devontae Adams might have to go back to the Raiders. How funny would that be? That would be hilarious, I think. I don't know. I just think it would be hilarious if he had to get then traded from the team he was on back.
That would be pretty wild.
It would be wild, dude.
Just to sign back with him in the offseason.
Yeah. Is his contract up?
Did you guys see the awful flea flicker back to D-Hop instantly blown up play in the game?
You mean back to Adams? Yeah, that play was garbage. It was hot garbage.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. The only thing that was in this Jets game that seemed like was going on is it was the Aaron Rodgers last hurrah throws to like Alan Lazard and maybe Devontae Adams. That's what it seemed like the whole game.
Yeah,
Breece Hall is definitely going to be making our list of guys to avoid in the first 3 rounds of the draft.
I wouldn't say that. He's just on a very, very bad team.
Yeah, I mean, but for fantasy football, he's not going to a different team next year.
I understand this, but he was way better his rookie year, and
this is his second year.
This is his second. Oh, yeah, because he got last year. He got hurt.
Yeah,
but he was killing it before he got hurt.
Mm-hmm. He's good. He's good. So, I'm not saying he's not. I'm saying that he's on like you said, a crap team. And I would not take him in the first 2 rounds of the fantasy draft next season.
I don't think I would either.
Yeah. I would. He probably falls to around 4, in my opinion. Like where Kamara went this year. That would be where I would consider him this coming year. So I don't know. We'll see. If you have a keeper league, I wouldn't be keeping Breece Hall if I was you. I would look to somebody else.
One more quick interruption here.
Yeah, what's up?
One more. We got to give Miles a congratulations. He also won his fantasy football championship.
Oh, let's go,
congrats,
Miles. Congratulations, man. I'm glad you're in the live here. Yeah, absolutely, dude. Miles, let us know how much you won. Craig Love, I see you're in here. I know he won. Poor Craig Love is a Bengals fan, though, so he's living a miserable life this week, unfortunately. Sorry, Craig. Sorry, dude. You can watch the Steelers lose with us on Saturday. It'll be a great time. Next game I did want to talk about, and this is the last one. This was the most important one of the entire week.
Yeah, this was for the NFC North.
And it was a blowout. Like, Jahmyr Gibbs, 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
He was the entire game. It was just you heard his name, his name. He's really good.
Yeah.
He's really good at football. When everyone said, why did the Detroit Lions trade back and then take Jahmyr Gibbs? This is why.
Because he's the man. He's him.
He remember when he got drafted, you and I were watching him play against the Chiefs in the first game of the season, Lions and Chiefs. Mm-hmm. And I said, dude, doesn't this guy kind of look like Alvin Kamara when he was young? Mm-hmm. Dude, that's literally who he is.
That's a very good comp.
Yeah, he's great out of the backfield in the pass game. He's very elusive and he's dummy fast.
Yeah.
I mean, dumb fast.
So, like, remember when they were saying, like, we were going to use him, we're going to put him in the slot, we're going to put him out wide, like his rookie year, like, we're going to do all this stuff with him, and they never really did anything with that.
It doesn't matter because what they're doing. Didn't matter
because, and now he can show that he can be an every down back. Yeah,
absolutely. With the time period that David Montgomery is out, which I wanted to touch on here next, so I'm glad you brought that up, is he has shown that he can be a premier back. However, I don't think it would be something that you would want with him just because of his body style. He would get banged up over the year.
No. I mean, the league is pointed towards having a 2-back system.
Absolutely.
Because just to keep the longevity of the running back.
Of your running, of your smaller elusive back, you need a bigger back.
Unless you're like a Derrick Henry or Saquon Barkley even, who is just,
even with those guys, the Ravens do bring in Justice Hill.
Yeah, they do have Justice Hill, and Gainwell does spell
exactly.
Barkley every once in a while.
It's officially, I would say that what you said is absolutely correct. It is a 2-back league. Even James Cook up in the Bills now, Ray Davis is spelling him a little bit.
Yep.
It just makes sense to keep your guy who's going to, the whole play is built around him. If it's a run play, have him as fresh as possible for the play.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? What I did want to note on Jahmyr Gibbs, which where we started on this conversation, is they are announcing that David Montgomery should be playing this week.
Yeah, he's gonna come back.
I think that's crazy.
I think that's crazy too. Well, not this week. It'll be.
When they play, that you are right. Thanks for correcting me there. Since they won the number 1 pick, the next game the Lions play, they're expecting him back. So
for the divisional round.
I just don't love it. I don't love it. He's injury prone. Why not just let him rest up? You can use him in the Super Bowl if you make it there.
I mean,
you don't need him.
But you know what, man? When guys feel like they can play, they're going to play.
Yeah,
Especially in playoffs. You're
not wrong
because this is it. This is go time. Like this is do or die. Like
you are right. I mean, this is what it's all about. Is this week here? Miles says he won by 0.45 because of London on his big game. Miles, money, let's go, dude.
Very
that
nice.
is freaking awesome, my guy.
I would hate to lose a championship game like
by that much.
By that much.
I know, dude. I feel like when you have a championship
I'd much
game,
rather get blown out by like 20 plus points.
Yeah.
Like
you want it to be over as fast as possible. Whether you're going to win the fantasy league or lose it, I feel like you always just want to hurry up and
just get it done with.
Get it over with.
I mean, that's kind of how I am with most matches.
I'm not.
Throughout the year.
Some of them
let's get up big and let's get this over with.
You beat me by 0.25 on a kicker one time. You remember that?
I did.
Or 0.14 or something.
I beat you like that this year.
Yeah, it was.
Really?
Was it this year?
Mm-hmm.
I like those kind of games because then I'm sitting there watching my kicker like, come on, 52-yarder, 52-yarder, let's go. But let's dive into a little bit. We kind of recap the last week of the season there. Before we jump into playoffs, let's take a look at some of the things that have been going on for the teams who won't be making the playoffs.
Yes, because there was a lot of news.
There is a
come
good
out
bit
yesterday
of news.
and early today.
Absolutely, and some of it's kind of weird. First thing I want to mention is obviously the Jets are going to be looking for a new head coach.
Yeah.
And the people that they are interviewing are wild. They're interviewing some wild names, just to put it out there.
Didn't they call the Steelers about Arthur Smith?
They did.
Yeah.
They also have interviewed Rex Ryan. They have interviewed...
Again?
Yes, they've interviewed Rex Ryan. They asked to interview Vrabel. They want to... Oh, I had a name. It's a fun... Oh, Darian Rizzi of the Saints. The guy who's the interim head coach for the Saints, the special teams coordinator.
Really?
Yes. They're interviewing him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
It's just like, what? The Jets will jet. That is what I wanted.
Why don't they just go ahead and interview Mike Daniels?
No, why don't they just go ahead and bring back Robert Saleh?
or bring back Robert Saleh. Or, who else was a bad head coach for the Jets? They're all bad head coaches for the Jets.
To be completely honest.
As far as I'm concerned.
Rex Ryan is honestly the best one.
I think Herm Edwards was the best one.
He was a good one.
For Rex Ryan. Rex Ryan did
he
take
was,
him
he
to
took him to playoffs.
Back-to-back AFC championship
Yes. And also the butt fumble was under his watch too, I believe.
That was, yeah. But I mean...
Yeah, for the Jets.
Other than those couple years, the Jets were terrible under Rex Ryan.
Yeah. They had good defense, but that was it. And then he brought his brother in too. You remember that? Jeez.
Yeah. Or I thought they were with the Bills together. I don't know.
Was it the Bills?
I think it might have been when he
Either
went to
way,
the Bills.
I don't want any.
Anyways.
I don't want to see anything to do with the Ryans. Another
Jets
team.
gonna Jets.
Yeah, Jets are going to jet. That is exactly right. Another team that is they fired their coach midseason. It was the Bears.
Yes.
They got rid of their guy.
Fired Matt Eberflus.
So you know who their big eyeing piece is right now?
Who?
They're trying to get Mike McCarthy off the Cowboys.
Really?
Yeah. So they asked to interview him. Okay.
Okay.
And the Cowboys have not responded to said request.
I
However,
don't think so.
Mike McCarthy on January 14th becomes able to be like a free agent in the right that if someone calls him and asks for an interview, he can just go to it.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting clause in his
yeah, we'll
contract.
see how this all plays out with that. I don't know if I was Mike McCarthy, would you want to move from the Cowboys to the Bears? I mean, is that an upgrade? Is it a downgrade?
You would get out from underneath Jerry Jones's thumb.
You would, but you would move to an organization that is literally scrambled eggs.
True.
You know, like they're hot dogs and warm water over there.
True. I mean, I don't know.
I would say maybe.
Maybe.
Your Jerry Jones point would be why I would.
Yeah, just to get him away from Jerry Jones.
Completely. I think to get away from Jerry Jones would be the move.
Yeah, I think that would be a breath of fresh air for him.
You know who I think that needs to be getting called for a lot of head coaching positions?
Who's that?
Our old guy who's now the Minnesota Vikings defensive coordinator, Brian Flores.
I think
he deserves a job more than most.
He never should have lost his job.
Exactly. I agree with you. I agree with you. We won't go down that route, but I agree with you completely.
Yeah. No.
Another team, we talked about them a little bit already, but that's the Jags. They fired Doug Pederson either this morning or yesterday.
Yeah.
But he is out.
They let him finish the year.
I know. They're also interviewing some strange people down there. Just weird names.
Duval.
I think I already know who the head coach is. I think it's Robert Saleh.
for the Jags.
Oh, yeah.
You think they're going to hire Robert Saleh?
I think they interviewed him. I think Robert Saleh is the best fit for that team. They already have a defense.
Yeah.
They just need a retooling of their offense. They already have a great wide receiver. They probably need to get rid of ETN and just go with Bucky and someone else. Or not Bucky, but
Bugs.
Yeah.
Bigsby.
Yeah, Tank Bigsby. They need to go with him and someone else. I just don't like ETN that much. He had a terrible season, in my opinion. I know Trevor Lawrence does improve his game because they're college teammates and they got that chemistry. So it's probably not going to happen. You're going to see both of them back next year, but I don't know. I think Robert Saleh is going to be the head coach, though. That's my prediction there. A head coach who got fired almost right before the show, just a couple hours ago. That's Antonio Pierce of the Raiders.
Yes, he did.
So I don't really know who I like as the head coach for the Raiders. There's a lot that needs redone. I will say that the Raiders came out and said that Tom Brady, he's a minority owner now, will have some say in what goes on in the head coaching hiring of this. Now, I kind of think the Deion Sanders is sitting out there going, I'm going to take that job. And I'm gonna bring my son here too.
I mean, the Raiders they're still picking top 5, right?
Yeah, I have it up here. Let's check it out. So the Raiders are going to be 5th, I believe, or 6th. 6th.
Okay, so there's 6.
So will Shedeur make it past the Titans, the Browns?
Yes.
Will he make it past the Giants? No,
I don't think so.
He will not make it
unless
past
the Giants take Cam Ward.
Correct. He will make it past the Patriots.
Yeah, he'll make it past the Patriots.
He'll make it past the Jaguars.
So it depends on what the Giants do.
It really depends on the Giants. So if the Giants end up loving Cam Ward, then that kind of paves the way for both Sanders to end up, I think, in Las Vegas.
In Las Vegas.
Yeah. Think about it. Vegas, they want flashy. That's dude, how much flashier can you get them big time? I mean,
primetime Deion. Yeah, you're going to be big flashy with that.
That's my thought.
I heard it on the way here, actually, listening to radio, that you never really see like the childhood Pop Warner father son combo in the pros.
Is it cool? Yes.
Not really. It's kind of lame.
I don't like it.
I don't like it necessarily either, and I don't think it would work.
See,
I don't think it would work at all.
I don't think it would work because of like the ball situation in the NBA is kind of the same deal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He brought all of his kids up through the system, stayed alongside with them, made them a brand. I do think it's a good chemistry thing because of father and son. I think it's bad because the father will favor the son in all situations. You know what I mean? If he was the head coach.
I don't think that's a good thing at all.
Let me add this too. Do we not remember that Deion Sanders has another son who plays for Colorado and nobody talks about him?
Isn't he's going in the draft?
I think he has one more year.
The corner?
Yeah, I think
Shiloh
Sanders. I think he has one more year. I think he's younger than his brother.
I think he is.
Yeah, I think he's got one more year.
A year younger.
But like, is he just going to leave him in the dust?
I don't think so. I don't think so. Why would he? Yeah, why would he leave Shiloh there by himself?
So I don't really know what's going on with that. In my opinion, though,
I don't think Deion's coming to the NFL this year.
You don't think so?
No, not this year.
Okay. We'll see what happens, guys. If you are a Raiders fan, let us know. Who do you think is the best head coach hiring for the Raiders? We're kind of up in the air about it. We said Sanders maybe, but maybe not this year. So let us know in the comments and give us some ideas because I can't really think of anybody who really fills that. I thought Antonio Pierce was like he bled Raiders. You know what I mean? Like if you think of Raiders head coach, Antonio Pierce.
Yeah, but he would. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see.
They said, you tried.
Yeah.
Like, you tried, buddy.
Another team looking for a head coach. They fired their head coach mid-year. This is one of the teams that Bryce Young had on his bloody path of destroying teams to end the season. The Saints. They need a head coach.
Oh, yeah, the Saints need a head coach.
They don't have a head coach.
Yeah, no.
Who could be moving to the Saints?
I forget who their head coach even was.
It was Dennis Allen, who was the defensive coordinator for, what's his name, when he was the head coach during the Breeze years.
Sean Payton.
He was Sean Payton's defensive coordinator.
Oh, and they
promoted him from within.
Okay.
And now they fired him.
So this was the second year.
Mm-hmm. And he was also a head coach of another team. I believe it might have even been the Saints at one point in time. Okay. Earlier in his career.
Because, the Saints crumbled.
Yeah, the Saints crumbled.
This year.
It's injury prone. I think that the Saints have, of any of the teams who don't have a quarterback or don't have a head coach, I think the Saints are the best team.
On paper, yes.
You think about it with the players that they have.
Yeah, with a healthy Derek Carr, a healthy Kamara, Olave, Rashid Shaheed.
Yeah, those are great. And then Jawan Johnson isn't a bad tight end. You know, they've got players. It's
Taysom Hill.
Their defense is old.
Defense is old.
Taysom Hill is
old. They
old.
did trade away Marshawn Lattimore,
who will play for I almost said their old name, for the Commanders against Mike Evans this week.
Ooh.
Do you remember how much they hate each other? How awesome is that going to be, dude? It's going to be great. That's the first thing I seen.
They hate each other.
Yeah, it's the first thing I seen. I was like, this is going to be dope. Yeah, that's going to be awesome.
When are they playing? Sunday?
They play on Sunday.
Yeah.
So
I gotta watch that.
Do you agree with me though? Saints best team without a head coach. They're better than the Jets. Let's be honest.
They're better than the.
They are. They're better than the Jets.
I like the Jets have a better. I like the Jets defense better. I think they have better playmakers on offense.
They're going to trade Garrett Wilson
younger players on offense.
Jets trading Garrett Wilson to the Steelers?
No. I don't think we're trading.
I don't think we're getting anybody either.
I don't think we're getting anybody.
We'll trade George Pickens for Garrett Wilson straight up. Jets, call us. If the GM's grandson, if you're on TikTok or YouTube, brother, give us a call. We'll come help you make some picks, and it's going to include you getting George Pickens and us getting Garrett Wilson. So give us a call. We'll take care of it for you.
Yeah, I mean,
ooh, Bo Nickel for an upset, Craig. I like that. We'll get into that in a minute here.
Let's get into some of these playoff games.
Yeah, let's get into some of the playoff games, guys. Did want to remind you here mid podcast, we are going to be live for another awesome watch party. We're going to cover all of these AFC games that will be on Saturday.
Yep.
First game that we're going to be taking a look at. This game, I think, in my opinion, is going to be the closest of the two, unless the Steelers can really pull something out. But this is the Chargers and the Texans. Texans are hosting. I think that what the Chargers have completely negates what the Texans have on offense. So I think that the Chargers defense completely exits out Joe Mixon. I think that Nico Collins will be the defining factor of their offense. Are they able to push the ball deep down the field with Nico Collins or not? Because I think Derwin James and that whole defensive front, they're going to be able to stop Joe Mixon. That's what I think.
Yeah, I think the Chargers can shut down this Texas running game, and then they're going to have to rely on C.J. Stroud getting the ball downfield. And, I mean, his best weapon right now is Nico Collins.
Yep, him and Dalton Schultz. That's another player that we could see a lot of his name.
I don't love Dalton Schultz.
No, no, but at this point in time, they got to play with what cards they have.
I know.
And that's who they have.
I mean, in the rolling guys, they got Mechie the third.
He got popped in the last game.
Playing
Hutchinson,
another young guy playing.
Obviously, Dell and Diggs out.
Dell and Diggs are done.
What do you like on the Chargers side of the football that would give you the defining, like offensively, what do you think they'll do to the Texans defense? Do you think that they're going to be doing a lot of play action and busting the ball down the field with J.K. Dobbins?
I can see that.
They did bring Zeke in this week.
Yeah, no, I can see that. I think it depends on how well Justin Herbert plays.
Yeah, I will say this: Justin Herbert couple weeks.
That's the easy way out of this one.
That is. I was gonna say that is the easy way out of it.
But I mean, it really is, man. Because just you never know what can happen with Dobbins. They don't have Gus Edwards this week.
They don't.
He's
they
out.
do not. It's Kamani Vidal and Zeke Elliott.
Yeah, and when Vidal has needed to step up, he hasn't been great.
He hasn't been very good, guys.
So
not very good.
I mean, if Justin Herbert can get this passing game going, he has been. I mean,
yeah, I think one big thing that
this Chargers team is a scary team.
Yeah, the Chargers. The thing that I think will be the Chargers' benefit in this is that the Texans like to apply pressure through the pass game. And Justin Herbert last couple of weeks has been scrambling out of the pocket and making big runs, and he's been using his legs a lot. And that's something that you didn't see at the beginning of his career a lot.
People kind of forgot that he had that ability to run around a little bit.
Absolutely. So I think if I was a Chargers fan and looking at the Chargers offense and where I think they're going to benefit against a aggressive Texans defense is going to be Justin Herbert's legs, his ability to get out of the pocket, either make a play on that or just simply run himself. He's big, he's tall. Once he's getting tackled, he's getting 3 yards falling forwards. So,
yeah,
I mean, that's just the way it goes. In this game, Ben, who do you have as the winner? And give me a kind of projected score. You can give me an over-under points, or you can give me an actual score.
I'm going to take the Chargers in this one.
Okay.
I think they caused some turnovers.
Right, defensively winning battles.
They caused some turnovers. I believe Herbert has a nice day.
Okay.
I think McConkey has a nice day too.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go Chargers like 27-14.
27-14 Chargers. So you're saying under 45 points in this one.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that this is a little bit of a high scoring, not extremely high scoring, but I think a little bit higher than what you had. I'm going to take it as a 31-21 game. I think that the Chargers will take it by 10 points or something around 10 points. I did want to note, guys, that in this game, you are able to take what is my green flag bet. And the green flag bet is this. If Vegas is giving you 9 points plus or minus on a team, you always go ahead and take the over in that game. They are either thinking, this is the mentality behind it, that the team that is supposed to win by that 9 points is either going to blow out that team, or it's going to be a very close game and the score is going to go up. That's something that I've hit on every time I bet on it. So make sure you take a look at it for this week. I'm running it. That's what I'm going to go with. And if it hits, I'll have money for Sunday too. So take a look at that. Anything plus 9.5, minus 9.5 on the spread, take a look at the over. That's my insider bet news for you this week. I think I did say I'm going to take the Chargers, and I got you that score there. Next game, this is the game that matters to us, but we have no hope.
Does it really matter?
We aren't really feeling it, guys. We're Steelers fans, true and through, but we haven't seen anything in like a month that would tell you they can win a football game.
Because we're seeing the same Steelers we have been seeing since
2015.
Since 2016, our last playoff. Mm-hmm. We're seeing the same shit.
Yep.
So, I mean,
you do good.
Yeah, we do. We were 10-3 a month and a half ago.
Mm-hmm. We were 10-7. I seen this meme. It's really funny. It's a dude who does a backflip, and when he's facing it there first, it goes Mason Rudolph, Kenny Pickett, 10-7, and then he does the backflip and goes Justin Fields, Russell Wilson, 10-7. It's just there is no difference. I mean, if you can't beat mediocrity, you can't beat mediocrity.
So, I mean, is this what we're gonna have to deal with for a while?
Yes.
Because I don't see Mike Tomlin going anywhere.
No, that's what we're gonna deal with.
Unless
we get a superstar out of the draft somehow that everybody didn't know was a superstar, the Steelers aren't going anywhere other than 10-7 or 9-8.
Yeah.
Every single season until I am probably on, Medicare.
Yeah. It's just man,
this is what it is.
I can't do this with this team anymore.
I know.
It's Groundhog Day. It's literally Groundhog Day with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
It literally is Groundhog Day with the Pittsburgh Steelers. If you can't tell, I am the Yinzer of Yins. I would be screaming and saying a million things about Lamar Jackson and this and that, how we're going to crush him. I don't believe any of that. I have very little hope in the Pittsburgh Steelers in this football game, unless somehow George Pickens magically gets touched by an angel of some sort of calmness or something like that.
Yeah,
he's yelling at our fans at a home game in the last one. George, I've been saying this all year. Grow up. But now I'm at the point, get the hell out of our town, dude. I don't want you anywhere near here. You could go be young boy, shut the hell up. I don't care. I'm over it. You aren't that good. You dropped all the balls that were thrown to you in the last game that were schemed up to you. You barely try.
He dropped 3 in a row, right?
Yeah, I'm over it. You are not good enough to act like this. This is how Antonio Brown acted after he had 6,000-yard seasons. Yeah. Then it was okay, this guy's a diva because he's really good.
He had 6 years of arguably the best numbers of any wide receiver.
George, you're a joke. You're a joke, George. We think you're a joke now. You act like a joke. You're going to get treated like a joke. Congratulations. Ravens by 20.
I haven't gotten that far yet with George Pickens. I still have some faith in the man or kid. I don't know.
He's a kid. I got to give it to him. He's a kid.
He's a kid.
Yeah.
He's a kid playing
23, 22.
He's a kid playing a kid's game, making grown men money.
And acting like a child.
Yeah. But I haven't hopped off the George Pickens train yet. I think he can. I think he can be very good. Oh man,
it's not gonna be. Do you think it's gonna be close? Vegas has it 10 points, and I took
Vegas
Steelers
has
10.
it 10 points.
I took the Steelers 10.
I mean, I would take the Steelers plus 10. I think they keep it closer than what people think because it is Steelers Ravens.
Yeah. It's in Baltimore.
It is in Baltimore.
What are you giving it,
man?
It's hurting your soul. I know. I think 17-31 is a good score for me. Steelers lose.
Yeah, you think
17-31. That sounds exactly like a Steelers-Ravens loss. I will say though, Steelers have the better record in the playoffs against the Ravens than the Ravens do the Steelers. Over history, the Steelers have beaten the Ravens most of the times in the playoffs. They only have beaten us once.
I'm going to say 21-20.
21-20, 1 point game. Wow. The man has faith in our team. I'm proud of you.
It's Steelers Ravens, man. I'm gonna go 21-20 Ravens. Ravens win this game, and it's probably this is how the Ravens win this game. It's a walk-off touchdown.
It's a walk-off touchdown, probably to Isaiah likely on some sort of
in
dumb
the fourth
crap.
quarter. It's a walk-off touchdown.
I can see it. Next game we'll talk about. Let's move into those Sunday games a little bit here. First one we'll talk about. We do have 4 to talk about real quickly. The Broncos and Bills.
4.
4, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Monday night game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
yeah, it's Monday night. Yeah, we'll talk about it on Monday, or the Monday night game as well. We got a little bit of time.
Yeah, we got time.
For the Broncos, Bills, obviously Bo Nix and the boys have been playing really well. They secured that 7 spot. Do you see them having the ability to walk up into Buffalo and win this football game?
I do.
You do?
I do.
I have a feeling that this is a possible upset game. And I'm not saying it's for any certain crazy reason other than on this day, this team plays better. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't think the Bills are better than the Broncos. I think the Bills should be the favorite to win. It's going to be cold in Buffalo. If it's cold here, it's definitely going to be cold in Buffalo. Mm-hmm. Chance of snow. The Broncos, that's not going to affect them as much as most teams. They play in the mountains.
Yeah.
So that is a benefit for them. I don't think it's as big of a benefit for the Bills as it normally is. I just think that for some reason in this game, the Broncos show up, and it stuns the Bills to the point that they can't recover. You know what I mean? In the second half, they try to come back, but they can't get the whole way back. Mm-hmm. End up losing. I'll give the score 31-24. I think the Broncos take this and move on in the playoffs.
See, I want all that to happen.
I think McDermott gets fired if it happens.
Let
me add that in there.
Yeah, that's a possibility. Mm-hmm. I don't know that.
I know this. I'm talking fairy tales.
Yeah,
right now.
I don't think they'll fire McDermott.
We'll see.
And I don't think they're gonna have to. I think the Bills are gonna pull this one out.
Okay. What are you giving for a score?
Like 31-21.
31-21. So a 10-point win for the Bills. You think that they pull this off? Who do you think if you were taking a look at players individually for the Bills side, who do you think is the defining player who really puts them above and beyond? Is it the run game, the pass game, or just Josh Allen solely?
It's just Josh Allen.
You think Josh Allen takes them? I think so too.
It's Josh Allen, and if they can run the football.
Yeah, I was going to say, if Cook can get the ball and they can get out of the backfield, because, I mean, the Broncos have a great front, I think that he will be a factor in this one, but I think Josh Allen's legs will end up being the biggest factor that could help out the Bills. On the opposite side of the football, I think the Broncos have a good scheme to kind of spread things out, that even though the Bills have all these good players, they can get people open through scheming. So I think that if the Broncos were to pull out the win, it is sacks by their defense and great scheme on offense that pulls out the win for them, if the Broncos are to pull this one out.
Yes.
That's how I feel on that one.
Nope, I agree with you 100% on all that.
Next one. This is Packers. They're heading down
this is a rematch from this is week 1?
Maybe.
Brazil?
Oh, Brazil was
Brazil?
I think it was week 2.
Was that week 2?
But this is a rematch of the game where Jordan Love got injured. We talked about it earlier.
Feels so long ago.
Yeah, it does. It feels like last year. Because it's the new year.
Because it's the new year. Ha, 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 ha.
But yeah, guys, this was This is going to be Packers and Eagles. Like Ben said, they played in Brazil earlier this year. Jordan Love got hurt in that game. Willis, I think, played like maybe 2-3 snaps, right? It wasn't very much.
It was towards the end.
Yeah.
There was 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
I do see this being a relatively close game. I don't know how close, though. It really depends on what the Packers have been using all year for success to get down the field, which is Josh Jacobs. If Josh Jacobs cannot get it going, that Eagles has a great front. If they can slow Josh Jacobs down, they're going to have to rely on guys like Mr. Drops the Ball a lot, Jaden Reed. Christian Watson's done for the season.
Yeah, he's out.
So you got Wicks.
They got Wicks. They got Romeo Doubs. Dobbs.
Yeah, man, I don't know why. I use this guy in Madden all the time. I can't think of his name. It's number 80, but they also have him as a speedster as well. I can't think of his name right now. It doesn't really matter. He's not that big of a deal. Melton. Thank you. Yeah. Bo Melton. Bo Melton is his name. Yeah. But that's what's going on with the Packers. They do have their great tight ends, both of them back. We'll see if they're able to get things going in the pass game or whether this is a Josh Jacobs day. On the other side of the football, it's looking like the Eagles are on a pretty good mend when it comes to those who were injured and those who sat out the last couple of weeks. Should see Jalen Hurts back. You're obviously going to see Saquon back in the lineup. As much as I think this will be a great football game to watch, and I think it'll be competitive, I'm giving this game to the Eagles.
Yeah, the Eagles also get their tight end back, Goddard.
Goddard's back this week?
Back.
Okay. He'll probably be out 7 plays into the game, but the man plays like nothing. I feel like he's never in. Not to his fault. I mean, you get injured, right? But
I mean, he's still their best tight end.
He is, but that's because there's nobody else underneath. Who do you think wins this game, Packers, Eagles?
Oh, man.
Is it close? Eagles. I think it's close.
I think it's a close one, and I think the Eagles win this game.
Yeah, I would say
I think it's close until about the third quarter, and then Barkley takes over the game.
Thank you. I was just about to say, I think it's close, but the score doesn't reflect it. It ends up being 14-27, and it's like you said, Barkley gets a touchdown at the end that takes them way above and beyond. So I agree with you there. Next one, we kind of preluded this one a tiny bit because of the matchup of Marshawn Lattimore versus Mike Evans. This has been a common
wild card game in the last couple years.
Who's that?
Commanders. It was the football team at the time, but Commanders. Buccaneers.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, for this one, I wanted to ask you something that we've noticed a lot is that Baker Mayfield destroys teams with other really good quarterbacks. That's like a thing.
That he does a thing.
Really well against teams that have a great offense. This is one of them in the Commanders. This is the tightest. I think you can't just sit there and pick a team game of the week.
No, because this game should be a shootout.
This is going to be an awesome game. Why don't you give me your prediction first? I'll go second because I have a wild take on this.
Oh, man. I mean...
High scoring?
Yes, high scoring. I think it'll probably be 28-31. Even higher, maybe
28-31.
That would be the floor. I could also see it being 36-34.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it's a high scoring game as well.
I think both teams can score 30 plus points.
Who has more touchdowns, Baker or Jaden Daniels?
Baker.
I think it's going to be Baker as well. Who do you think wins?
Baker and the Buccaneers.
All right, you're going to take Baker and the Buccaneers. I'm going to tell you this, and I bet you this is exactly how this game goes down, guys. This is a Sunday night football game. I'll be laying on my couch, eating some popcorn and pretzels, and Jaden Daniels, with 1:32 left on the clock, will go down the field and throw a touchdown to Olamide Zaccheaus to win the game 38-34. That will be the score. I'm telling you right now, mark it in your books. Come back to this clip whenever it happens. I know the future. That's what's going to happen.
Okay.
Commanders for the win. I love you, Baker, but Jaden Daniels in the fourth quarter is unmatched. I mean, he is.
Yeah.
He really is. Last game.
Could also see the Buccaneers just kind of putting on a whooping.
It depends on if Bucky gets slowed down. If Bucky gets slowed down, I think that the Commanders have it in the bag. If Bucky doesn't get slowed down, I think it's a super close game. I'll put it like that.
Okay.
For the Monday night football game, 14 wins, and you are the 5th seed traveling. Now, I'll tell you this.
I think they get bounced.
You think they get bounced out? I'll tell you this. I don't think they get bounced out. I think they lucked out, though, because if you look at everybody else other than the Chargers, Chargers and Commanders, everyone's going somewhere colder than where they're from.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the
Vikings, Rams, they both play in a dome. I think they get bounced.
Is the Rams it's not a dome, it's like a hybrid. It has openings.
Yeah, it has openings because it's in LA.
It has some sort of weird canopy thing, doesn't it?
Yeah,
I think
that can it can be
like move around. And
it
crap.
can retract.
But so I know you're a Rams fan, so you're going to tell me I think that the Vikings get bounced. Tell me what happens in this game. Why do the Vikings not have this in the bag with the best defense?
Puka Nacua.
Do you think it's solely Puka Nacua, or do you think that Kyron kind of gets leaned on it all in this game, or is it pass game?
I think it's through the pass game. I think Puka Nacua eats.
And do we see any sort of Cooper Kupp coming back to life?
A little bit.
A little bit.
But I mean,
Playoff Cooper Kupp comes alive again?
Yeah.
They need him to. I'm not
but
gonna lie.
it's gonna be more of the Puka show.
You think it's gonna be the Puka show?
Yeah.
I could see it as well. We will see. I am not taking the Rams, but why don't you give me the score that you think it's gonna be as a Rams taker?
This one's tough too, because I'm just going. This is all biased takes.
Yeah, I know it's a biased take. What do you got? Tell me the score, dog. I'll give you mine.
I tell you what, man. I think it's gonna be like 24, like 17.
24-17. Rams take the win. Knock the Vikings
I'll even
out.
go 24-20.
24-20, a lot closer of a game. A field goal is the defining factor because they get a field goal instead of a touchdown at some point in time of the game.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to take the Vikings, and I'm going to take the Vikings because of this. Do you know who will be covering Justin Jefferson at quarterback?
No.
Ahkello Witherspoon, dog.
I guess he's not very good.
Do you know who that is?
No, I don't.
Ahkello Witherspoon? He was the quarterback for the Steelers. He was
He
horrible.
That's why I don't remember him, because he was really bad. I'm trying to forget. And I forgot successfully.
Yeah, you did. I reminded you. Yeah, Ahkello Witherspoon, and they have a guy named Kobe Durant. They'll be the guys covering Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison.
I actually knew they had Durant.
Yeah. I do not think that the Rams will be able to stop the passing game. I think that they have great rookies up front on the defensive line.
Who can get after the quarterback.
Who will be able to get after the quarterback and more explicitly destroy Aaron Jones's day. It'll be a bad one for Aaron Jones.
Yeah, think so?
But yes, but I think that the passing game of the three-headed monster that they have in T.J. Hawkinson, Jordan Addison, and Justin Jefferson to top it all off is going to be the defining factor. Yeah. Because if you look at the other team, do they kind of have the same sort of gunslinger setup? Yes, but Cooper's not as good as he was. You're depending on DeMarcus Robinson to really step up, and then you've got Puka Nacua, who's great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas the other side, all three are playing pretty well. Addison, Hawkinson, and Jefferson.
They didn't play well last week.
Yeah, they didn't play. I'll give you that. They didn't play well against
Sunday night.
But that was against a Lions team and not the Rams. They got them back.
Who arguably has like the weaker defense.
No, they got a lot of guys back.
Who?
The Lions? They had Anzalone back.
Oh, Anzalone was back?
They had a couple guys. A couple I can't name off the top of my head.
They still have a lot of injuries on that defense.
They do have a lot of injuries on their defense.
And they're missing their best one.
Luckily, they got the number one seed, though, so they're going to get mended up pretty well, I think. I think the Lions that you'll see when they come out are going to have – it's going to be most of their team back. But anyways, guys, in just to re-wrap up what we were talking about for the Wildcard Week, we will be live for a live watch party. You'll be able to hear the game and watch along with us. That'll be the Chargers and Texans. That's at 4:30 Eastern. Then we're going to watch the Steelers lose to the Ravens. That is at 8 p.m. Eastern. That's Saturday the 11th. I obviously am taking the Ravens,
we don't have
even though I don't want to. We just don't have faith in them.
I don't.
If they win, it will be a miracle.
Don't. Yeah.
I'll tell you this, the last time the Steelers were the 6th seed, they ran through everybody and won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but that was when the 6th seed was the actual last seed.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, we took the Ravens. We took the Chargers. I took the Broncos on I just think this is a random occurrence that happens and they win. I don't think they're the better team. He took the Bills. In the next game, we both took the Eagles. We think the Eagles are going to take that one. In the night game on Sunday night, he is taking the Buccaneers. I'm going to take the Commanders. I think Jaden Daniels scores a touchdown there in the fourth quarter. Who knows? Maybe like 15 seconds left on the clock, and that's what gets them the win. And then finally, the Monday night game, he's got the Rams because he's a Homer Rams fan. and I'm taking the Vikings. I think the Vikings pass game is what gets them the win in that one. Guys, I did want to point your eyes close to the betting in this one. My green flag has come up, and it's the Chargers and Texans game specifically. They are given 9 points, so check out the over in that game. The Steelers are plus 10, so that one's pretty close to my green flag as well. So the over in that one might be something to take a look at too, guys. Ben, did you have anything else you wanted to mention?
Just the Steelers are a sorry ass excuse for a football team right now.
Guys, we'll have coverage for you Saturday. Look Tuesday. We will have a recap of everything that went on over the weekend. We'll start to take a look at the draft order, who we think your team should be drafting. We'll bring you guys into live too as well, because we want to hear from you, the fans of your teams, see what you guys think that you want your team to make a move on. So look forward to that. We will see you on Saturday at 4 o'clock for the watch party. I hope you have a great rest of your week. Stay warm. Peace out, guys.